Shalom, shalom. First, giving all praises to Yahweh by Shem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. All praises due. Finally back making another video. It's been a little minute, but, got to continue pushing that plow. Been doing a lot of meditation, a lot of reading, but I definitely have a lot of videos that I've been wanting to do, so it's about time I started doing them. So, I think I'm going to start a series on the book of Baruch. I'm going to skip chapter 1. I'm going to just go from 2 through, I believe, 5. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to do a series from 2 through 5. And today's video is going to be just chapter 2. And then, like I said, each video, I'm going to just try to do, one video per chapter. So, we're going to be in the book of Baruch in the Apocrypha. Book of Baruch, chapter 2, man. This Baruch goes a lot into our captivity, man. Very deep into our captivity. I'm going to just connect a lot of these verses with Deuteronomy 28, man. You'll see how everything lines up perfectly, man. So, without further ado, we're going to be in Baruch, chapter 2, starting at verse 1. It says, "Therefore the Lord hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us, and against our judges that judge Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah." So notice it says he pronounced good his word. His word was good. He pronounced it against us. He pronounced it against us, once we went off. And, it says his word went against us, our judges, everybody that had, not necessarily like high ranking, but, everybody that was under Israel, all these curses fell upon everybody, man. Verse 2. "To bring upon us great plagues," the curses, "such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses." So, it says, like I said, the great plagues are the curses, and it came to pass in Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the people before it's a place. So the plagues aren't in Jerusalem, it's with the people. Jerusalem is his people before it's a place. Verse 3, "That a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter. Moreover, hath he delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be as a reproach and a desolation among all the people round about, where the Lord hath scattered them." Israel, we have been scattered. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28:25. Let's get some precepts. Deuteronomy 28. We're gonna be in 25, and then I'm gonna go to 37. So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 25. It says, now remember, it just said here in Baruch 2, it says he delivered us to be subject to all kingdoms round about, and we become an approach to everyone that's round about us and wherever he has scattered us. Now let's read Deuteronomy 28 and 25. It says, "The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shalt be removed into all kingdoms of the earth." This is a curse connecting to Baruch, man. Now let's go to verse 37. It says, "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations whither the Lord shall lead thee." So he's saying we're going to be scattered into all kingdoms of the earth, and we're going to become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword, meaning we're going to be called everything but Israel. This is why you have African American, you have Hispanic, you have Native American, you have nigga, you have wetback, you have, just all the slurs and all these other names that are not of Israel. Now let's go to Baruch chapter 2. I'm going to read verse 4 again. It says, "Moreover, he hath delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be as a reproach and desolation among all the people round about, where the Lord hath scattered them. Thus we were cast down and not exalted," exalted meaning praise, "because we have sinned against the Lord our power, and have not been obedient unto his voice." So just because we weren't obedient to his voice, that's what he said. He brought us all these plagues upon us. Now let's read Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Deuteronomy 28 and 15 says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." This is exactly what happened. We did not listen to his voice. We were cast down. We were not praised anymore. Israel became a byword, a proverb. He delivered us into all kingdoms of the earth. And then that's why we are the bottom people. We are the base people now. And everything was switched. verse 6, Baruch chapter 2. To the Lord our power pertaineth righteousness, but unto us and to our fathers open shame, as appeareth this day. We got open shame because we sinned against him, you know. We didn't listen to his voice. That's why we got open shame. Verse 7. For all these plagues are come upon us, which the Lord hath pronounced against us. Yet have we not prayed before the Lord, and we might turn every one from the... I'm going to read that again. Yet have we not prayed before the Lord, and we might turn everyone from the imaginations of his wicked heart. Wherefore the Lord watched over us for evil, and the Lord hath brought it upon us. For the Lord is righteous in all his works, which he had commanded us. He gave us righteous judgment. We deserve this, man. Like I said, we did this to ourselves in the past life, in the ancient world. So everything that's going on with us, we did it to ourselves. And the Most High just gave us what we deserved. Verse 10. Yet we have not hearkened unto his voice, to walk in his commandments of the Lord that he hath set before us. Just like he said, if you did not hearken, what was going to happen? All these plagues, these curses were going to come upon you. Verse 11. And now, O Lord, the power of Israel, that has brought thy people out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand and high arm, and with signs and with wonders and with great power, and has gotten thyself a name, as appeareth this day. O Lord, our power, we have sinned, we have done ungodly, we have dealt unrighteously in all thine ordinances. Let thy wrath turn from us, for we are but a few among the heathen, where thou hast scattered us. So he's saying now, you know, since you scattered us, our generations have diminished. Like, you know, we used to have generations out of sand of the sea. We used to have a lot of kids, you know, back then. But now, being in captivity and stuff, it's all diminished. It's all diminishing down. That's why it says there are few left among the heathen. You know, it's not a lot of us like it used to be. Verse 14. Hear our prayers, O Lord, and our petitions, and deliver us from thine own sake, and give us favor in the sight of them which have led us away. That's crazy that I'm reading this now because but when I had ideas to write this, to do this chapter, this was before the Red Mister, and it just hit me just now. You know, we've been praying to get delivered from this, man. We petitioned on Saturday, man. This is what we've been doing to deliver us, take this yoke of bondage off our necks. This is what we've been asking for. But you know, we're still on his timing, but we have to continue to pray for it. We got to continue to pray for it. You know, got to continue to seek him. Got to continue to ask him. Verse 15, that all the earth may know that thou art the Lord our power, because Israel and his prosperity is called by thy name. So this goes perfectly with Malachi 1:14. You know, his name is dreadful amongst the heathen, because in my 1611 Bible, right before it says called by thy name, it's a little plus, it's a little cross right there, and it gives you like a synonym for what it just said, kind of a little like a, you know, like a rewording. So it says, thy name is called upon Israel. His name is called upon us. That goes perfectly with this precept. You know, he said in his name, we're his chosen people. You know, he chose us. Let me get Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. It says, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. You know, that's why it says here, Israel and his prosperity is called by thy name. His name is called upon Israel. It's only for us, bro. He don't care about nobody else, man. Only Israel. He is always, all through the Bible, it says the Lord God of Israel, the God of the Hebrews, the Lord of the Hebrews, King of Kings. You know, everything is all about Israel. Nobody else. Baruch chapter 2, verse 16. It says, O Lord, look down from thy holy house and consider us. Bow down thine ears, O Lord, to hear us. Open thy eyes and behold, for the dead that are in the graves, whose souls are taken from their bodies, will give unto the Lord neither praise nor righteousness. But the soul that is greatly vexed, which goeth stooping and feeble, and the eyes that fail, and the hungry soul will give thee praise and righteousness, O Lord. Therefore, we do not make our humble supplication before thee, O Lord, our power, for the righteousness of our fathers and our kings, and of our kings. For thou hast sent out thy wrath and indignation upon us, as thou hast spoken by the servants, the prophets, saying, thus saith the Lord, bow down your shoulders to serve the king of Babylon, so shall ye remain in the land that I gave unto your fathers. But if you will not hear the voice of the Lord to serve the king of Babylon, I will cause to cease out of the cities of Judea, and from without Jerusalem, the voice of the mirth, and the voice of joy, and the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, and the whole land shall be desolate of inhabitants. We listen to the Lord's voice. That's what it says. His wrath and indignation is upon us. It's like it's all going through the curses. Baruch is a phenomenal book, man. Verse 24. But we would not hearken unto thy voice to serve the king of Babylon. Therefore hast thou made good the words that thou spakest by thy servants the prophets, namely, the bones of our kings and the bones of our fathers should be taken out of their places. And lo, they are cast out of the heat of the day and of the frost, into the frost of the night, and they died in great miseries by famine, by sword, and by pestilence. The house which is called by thy name hast thou laid waste, as it is seen this day for wickedness of the house of Israel and the house of Judea. O Lord, our power, thou hast dealt with us with all thy goodness, and according to all his great mercy of thine, as thou spakest by thy servant Moses in the day which thou didst command him to write thy law before the children of Israel, saying. So verses 29 through 35 is the main meat of this video. So most of that stuff I was just going to read through it because I really don't have too many notes on that. But 29 through 35 is where all the meat is, bro. Just listen to everything I'm about to say. Verse 29. If ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, where I will scatter them. As you know, our people was known as, he said our descendants will be at the sand of the sea. But he says it will be turned into a small number. We're going to be scattered and we're going to be diminished down. That's why they try to make sure they could control our populations all the time, because they don't want us to have a lot of kids, because they know we just outnumber them. But, they mentally have to dumb us down so we wouldn't do things of that nature, because, our whole first nature is to have multiply, be fruitful and multiply. That was the first law given to man. Verse 30. For I knew that thou would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. I'll read that again. Baruch chapter 2, verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. We remember ourselves now, man. Our people, we so stiff-necked, man. We don't know nothing. We always think we know it all, one. And, we so hard-headed, bro. Let's go to Exodus 32 and now. Let's get some precepts for stiff-neck. Book of Exodus 32 and 9. And the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Israel has been stiff-necked since the book of Exodus, bro. Let's go to Acts chapter 7, verse 51. Acts chapter 7, verse 51. Let me get some water real quick. It says, ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears, ye do always resist the Holy Ghost, as your fathers did, so do ye. Ain't nothing new under the sun, bro. Our fathers were stiff-necked in Exodus. They stiff-necked in the book of Acts, bro. Our people have been stiff-necked all through the ages. Always, bro. It's always been like that. Let's read Baruch chapter 2, verse 31. I'm going to go back to verse 30, actually. It says, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. We remember ourselves right now. And shall know that I am the Lord their power. For I gave them a heart and ears to hear. Now let's go to Jeremiah 31 and 33. Jeremiah 31, 33. It says, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people. All right, I'm going to read verse 31 in Baruch chapter 2 again. And shall know that I am the Lord their power, for I give them a heart and ears to hear. We remember that he is our power. He gave us the heart. and ears. He gave us a heart and ears to hear. You know, he wrote it on our inward parts, like he said he would do. Verse 32, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers which sinned before the Lord. No, this happened to us, bro. We were all 2/3 at one point in time, man. We all were. Most of us were won't do it. Some of us were probably atheists, Catholics, Baptist. You know, most of us mainly want to do it. But you know, whatever religion you have prior to waking up to this truth, bro, we were all stiff-necked at one point in time, bro. We all had wicked deeds. We all did 2/3 shit. But he says, you know, they shall praise me. You know, he said, we remember ourselves now, and now we're praising him. And we have left our 2/3 in our wicked ways. We're not stiff-necked no more. We understand who we are. We know where we at. We know who we are. We know who our power is. We know his true name and his true doctrine. And his true image. You know, we remembered everything now. So that's why we remember the ways of our fathers, which have sinned, and we're turning away from that, bro. Baruch 2:34. It says, and I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords, of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. He says he's going to bring us back. We're going to go back home. We're going back to Jerusalem. We're going to go back to Israel, man. We will go back. Let's get some precepts. Let's go to Jeremiah 30:3. Jeremiah 30:3. Jeremiah 30:3. It says, for lo, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah, meaning the northern and southern kingdom, saith the Lord, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. We will go back to our original land. Now let's go to Isaiah 32:1. Isaiah 32:1. Says, behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. We will go back to our original rulership. That's why he says, they shall be the lords of it. I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. When we rule, it's going to be forever, bro. Let's get another precept. It just hit me in my head. Let's go to Daniel. Let's go to Daniel. Let's go to Daniel 7, verse 18. Daniel chapter 7, verse 18. It says, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Our kingdom, that's what it says, we're not going to diminish. We're going to have it forever, bro. We can read verse 27 as well. Daniel 7:27. This is mainly talking about, it's talking about us too. Daniel 7:27. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. Talking about us, the first fruits, the 144, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. Our kingdom will be forever. That's why it says not going to diminish. And all the dominions shall serve and obey him. We're going to serve and obey Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. It's going to be Yahweh. It's going to be Yahweh, Yahushua, us, everybody else under our dominion. They going to serve us. We serve Yahushua. So if they serving us, they serving Yahushua too. They going to all worship and obey him just like we do. Back to Baruch chapter 2, last verse. I'm glad this video kind of short. I'm trying to have these videos shorter instead of being long ass videos. But Baruch chapter 2, verse 35. It says, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive out my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. So once we go back home to Israel, once we go back to the kingdom, man, we're never going to be taken out of that land. Our king, like I said in Daniel, or like it said in Daniel, our kingdom is going to be forever. Let's get a precept for that last verse, verse 35. Let's go to Jeremiah 31. Jeremiah 31:31. Jeremiah 31:31. All right, it says, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, northern and southern kingdom alike. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers, that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt. So it ain't going to be like the law of Moses, which my covenant they break. We did break the law of Moses, and although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. They got divorced. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people. So that's going to wrap up the first part of Baruch, man. Baruch chapter 2. Next video I'm going to put out will be Baruch chapter 3. Once again, it's still going through the curses. I'm telling you, man, Baruch is incredible. And the main meat is going to be at these sessions is really going to be Baruch 4 and 5. That's the main meat, the main chapters. So stay tuned, y'all. This is going to be part 1 for Baruch chapter 2. Baruch chapter 3 coming soon. Shalom.